Hi. So you're wanting to put on a light party for your children at home because this year the churches aren't able to put them on for you as an alternative to a Halloween celebration. So if you don't know where to begin, well, looking on here is a good start. I'm going to give you some pointers about some of the games that we would normally play at Bethlehem Chapel at our light party, and you can put them on in your own home. Most of the equipment you will have at home anyway. You may just have to pop out and buy a few of the edible items, but it's all really, really easy. And you'll find all of the games that I mentioned and more besides on this document that is on our website, www.bethlehemchapel.co.uk. And print that off, and that will give you some more games ideas. But for a few, why not start with a classic game, apple bobbing. Children love this one. Pop your apple into a big bowl of water, and then the children and yourself, if you're willing, have to get it back out using just their teeth. Good idea to have hands behind back, stops the temptation to pop the hands into the water. If you're really kind, try and get the smaller apples. It's better for a child's mouth to get around them. If you want to be really nice, why not leave the stalk on for them so they can use that to get it out of the water? So apple bobbing, that's a good place to start. Another great favourite game among the children is the chocolate dice game. And this involves a plate with a bar of chocolate, a knife and a fork, and then also a scarf and gloves made available. Pop these on the other side of the room, and then give your child and children, yourself included, a dice. And then you take it in turns to roll the dice. When you can get a 6, you rush over to the other side of the room. You pop on your gloves, and this is going to take a minute, which is the point of the game. And then you pop on your scarf around your neck, and then you pick up your knife and your fork, and you start trying to get into the chocolate. Keep it wrapped. They have to open up the wrapper and then eat the pieces of chocolate using just the knife and fork. That's great fun. All the while they're doing that, the others are still rolling the dice, of course, and as soon as somebody else gets a 6, they dash up. The other person have to take off everything, give it over willingly, and let the other person have a go. If you're finding it's a bit long-winded, then you can always make it so that it's a 5 or a 6 to enable more people to have a chance to get to the chocolate. So that's a great game. Another great game that the children like to play is Marshmallow Mountain. You'll see a link here. There's so much food involved in these celebrations and games. So Marshmallow Mountain, you just make a mountain of flour, ordinary flour. Just use cheap stuff because you're going to have to ditch it afterwards. And you make this, I've just used a glass dish. You could use a plastic bowl, you could use a cereal bowl, anything. Press it down in, pop the lid onto the bowl, flip over, carefully take the bowl off, and you've got yourself a flour mountain. Now, normally, traditionally, it's a marshmallow on top of here. I don't like marshmallows, so we haven't got any in the house. I've just used a little chocolate button thing. So, using the knife, they take it in turns to cut away parts of the flour, just pushing it away, but keeping it on the plate. Somebody else has the next cut, and they cut it away. Somebody else has the next cut, and they cut the flour away. Somebody else has the next one, and so on. You get the idea, and gradually this flour is building up on the plate, and what happens, of course, is eventually the marshmallow will indeed, or whatever you got on the top, it will indeed fall. Now that has now fallen. Whoever made it fall is the person who then has to be blindfolded. Remember, you played the chocolate game, you've already got your scarf handy. Blindfold them, and somebody else has to direct them to get that marshmallow out of the flour without using their hands. They just use their teeth. You get the picture. they end up with flour all over their face. Quite a good idea to play the apple bobbing game and then this one straight afterwards. Their damp face, flour gets very stuck to them. It depends how messy you want to be. So that's Marshmallow Mountain. Another good game, as we're thinking about light, is to play a game involving Morse code. Now, you'll find on our website, bethlehemchapel.co.uk, the Morse code, the international Morse code that we have taken off the internet, and you are able to print off and use. Have somebody one side using a torch, spelling out the words as per the letters on the sheet, and somebody on the other side with a sheet as well and trying to work out, well, that was 3 dots, so 3 dots, oh, that must be the letter S, and so on and so forth. Try to give them words to spell that have some kind of link with light, match, fire, torch, something like that. And it just reinforces this idea that we're celebrating light because Jesus is the light of the world, and we celebrate him coming into the world, as opposed to Halloween, which tends to celebrate the darkness that is all around us. What other games do we have? Here's another one. I haven't got all the equipment for this, but 2 plates side by side. On one plate, pour out a tube of Smarties, get a straw. They have to use the straw only to get the Smarties from one plate to the other plate. So they use a straw, suck up through the straw. The Smartie sticks to the bottom of the straw. They move it over, release, and then the Smartie falls off. Okay, another simple game, but I don't have Smarties and I don't have straws available to hand. Another game. This one doesn't involve food. That's a bit unusual. Get yourself a bunch of keys. The bigger the better. Get yourself a chair and place it somewhere in the middle of your sitting room or your lounge or wherever you are. Put the keys underneath the chair, and then somebody sits in this chair. They are the giant. This is Giant's Treasure. They are blindfolded, and somebody else undertakes an agreed circuit, perhaps a couple of walks around your living room or something like that, and they are trying to get to the giant, get the giant's keys, and then get back to their seat without the giant hearing them. It's a good game to try to quieten them down after all the excitement of the chocolate and everything else. Another good quiet game is Sleeping Lions. The children love this. So easy. Just have them lying on the floor, on their backs. They can have their eyes closed if they wish, but the point is they must not move. They must not move their mouth. They mustn't laugh. They mustn't respond. And somebody goes around and tries to get them to move. Cannot be touched, but they can be spoken about. Oh, look, they're keeping their eyes closed. I think they've got an itchy nose. I think they desperately want to scratch that nose. Oh, I think there's a smile coming. And lo and behold, there normally is one soon after that. The winner, of course, is the person who has lasted the longest on the floor. Any other games? Things like hunt the thimble. If you haven't got a thimble, hunt anything. And that's so easy. Send the children out of the room, hide it, and then bring them back in and let them find it. Use hot, cold, warm, boiling hot, freezing cold to give them a clue as to where they are looking. A quick look down on my list here. I think we probably covered most of them. You know musical statues, you know Pass the Parcel, you know Simon Says. The memory game is a good favourite as well. Wink Murder is one that they also like, a degree of harmless fun. Somebody is appointed the detective. They go out of the room. Somebody else is appointed as the murderer, and the detective comes back in and has to figure out who the murderer is as they are killing people by winking at them. Of course, you need to have, well, quite a few children and adults. So if you're a big family, this will work. If you've only got one child, I'm afraid this probably isn't going to work. It'll be fairly obvious who the murderer is. So I hope that all of this has given you an insight of some of the games that you can be playing at your light party. Have them dress up. Have them in their Sleeping Beauty costumes or their Superman costume or whatever it is, because That's what the children do on Halloween. And all that children are concerned about is that they don't get to do what their friends do on Halloween. So at the light party, do all of that fun stuff, but just keep it with the emphasis upon Jesus as the light of the world. If you want a short talk to share with the children, perhaps as they're having hot dogs or something for their tea, go onto our website or onto the YouTube and have a look for the message of light that I've put up there for the children just to sit, to watch and to enjoy. And maybe you will too. I really hope that this helped you. And as you host your light party, we will be praying for you. God bless. Bye-bye.